Okay, so I'm gonna do my first behind the scenes. I'm right here at my base of my mega tree. I have two control boxes here, an Alpha Pick 16, which I took out the little box and put in the new Holiday Curl HC 2500. I really like this new box, a little more room. And I used the old box to make a power injection box. I got a couple power supplies that mounted in that. I'll show you the inside. So right here is the inside with the Alpha Pick 16, two 30 amp power supplies in there, which drive all 16 of the outputs. This is actually being used to drive more than just my mega tree. I got some singing faces down on here that I'm doing, and my arches. And in my CG 1500, have two power supplies, one in the door and one in the main compartment, and a couple power distribution board with fuses for each of the outputs going out to my mega tree primarily here, as well as I got power injection running to some candy canes and some other props as well. When my mega tree is wired, I have one line coming out of the controller directly, going up 100 pixels up to the top. Up at the top, I break the power injection line or power line, and just have the neutral and the data coming through to the second string of 100, and there I have power injection there. So I'm actually injecting every 100 pixels is running off of its own and unique power. And I have 18 strings. It's a 360-degree pull, and I'm using the portable hull, and I'm using Roger Monkhouse's ASAP pull. When I first put this up, I didn't put the guide wires in the very top. It looked like it was going fine. It was real stable on the bottom right here. It was secured right here halfway up. Wasn't moving, but I did notice from the load of the pixels and the wind blowing on the pixel strips that it was starting to bend the pole. So I lowered it down, put some new guy wires on it, attached it and straightened her up, and it didn't budge. And I had 50-mile-an-hour winds, gusts of 50 mile an hour, and I had a day where 24 hours where the average wind speed was 30 miles per hour. So it did really well. I'm real happy with that. And off this same controller, I'm running Boscoyo Decoro stocking using Singing Face there. And I have one just a Decoro stocking with a matrix on top. And I have one of their hats as well. I really like this new coloring that they did. It's really, really handy. And there are some actual Home Depot snowman faces I got years ago that I put pixels in, and really kind of enjoyed doing that. And you see I got a couple regular props here, kind of cute. My wife really likes these, and they're just turn on and stay on during all of my shows. Next year I'll probably get myself an AC controller so I can turn those on and off with the control. And in order to keep these up to withstand the wind, especially my snowman here, I actually got 50-pound test line, fishing line, and with that I attach that to some stakes, attach it to the top of the snowman. I don't know if you guys can see this there. I think you can. And I just put a whole bunch of them. I had only one earlier up in the front, only 4 total, and the wind broke it and it blew over, and so I pulled it inside, then I fixed it and I put a lot more fishing line on it, and it survived that day of average 30-mile-an-hour winds, and that gusts up to 50, so that wasn't bad at all. When we got, it seems like the arm fell off on our little bear here. He's easy to pop in. It's just a friction hold on that one. And back to my mega tree. There's my mega tree star, 200 pixels. Made that one myself and welded it together. And you'll see I have 3/16" stainless steel wire rope, which I got from Home Depot and cut it to secure my mega tree. Now this is real strong stuff. It's actually, that one's a little loose right now. It's left from the winds, and the bottom ones are just solid as a rock. And here are my arches made out of PEX. That's 3/4 inch PEX. I ran in some strips in there. I have the Holiday Coral original on the first 4 of them. I got the strips from them, and then I ordered directly from China for the rest of them. And they just daisy chain them together, break it after the first 2, do power injection for the rest. And there's the PEX is sitting in CPVC. It fit in there just perfect. And I use this set screw to hold that in place. Now for my house, I'm using, again, Holiday Corals. I got these last year. Brilliant bulbs. And last year I had a whole bunch of inputs and outputs, and this year I just did 2 for the whole house and went to power injection. And it circles, it starts over on the right hand side of the house, and on the upper eave goes up over the garage doors, down, break it right there at the end of the house, and then I run it back and through and back to power injection box to make sure that all the lights light up. And on the top I run up, run into the master window right there, go around, go over to the Decoral spinner. At that point I actually have a break there as well, where I break the power line for power injection. That runs through my windows in the upper level, and then it goes up on the upper eaves and around and down. And then I had to put a couple of the F-amps in there to make that go just right. Okay, so downstairs, running my my house primarily here, I have a Holley Coral HC2500 again. I bought one of their Alpha Pix 4s. I did that this year. I got it at their pre-sale, so it was a real good price, I thought. And I put it in its own, removed it to this HC2500 when they came out, and it worked real well. I have extra power for power injection there, and I also put right over here a power distribution box from David Pitts. So I got, and I just actually took a Walmart cutting board for 88 cents and installed it in the door for my power injection. As you see, I only had 2 of them that I needed here, so I didn't add the rest of them onto it. And here next to it, I have the box that I actually took the Holley Coral Alpha Pix 4 out of, and I put my router in there. Here's my show router. I had to get a new one this year. The one last year kind of failed on me, so I got a little bit better quality one. And down below in this box I have my Raspberry Pi running FPP and my FM transmitter. In the white box is just for 5-volt power. Just one of those charging boxes you can get off Amazon.com. Okay, here's the back of my singing face. Ran power in just like the model from Muscoyo had it. Ran it down through the singing faces, and then I have some jumpers in here just running power injection, because we have like 300 pixels, not quite, on this particular prop. I got 1/2-inch PVC, which I just zip tied to it, and I made myself a little mount out of PVC. Didn't glue anything together, just held all together with zip ties, and ran it down. I have some stakes, rebar stakes in the ground here holding this in place. When I pick this up, it'll lay flat and I'll be able to store it quite easily. And then I have a pigtail coming off the end of that I can use. Plug another prop next year maybe, if I so desire. Yeah, so I'm still in the process of my takedown. Just thought I'd highlight, I ran off of this one Alpha Pix 16 controller. I ran this 1800 pixel Megatree, 18 strands, 100 each, and 200 pixels on the star. You can see it's down in its lower position right now, getting ready to take the pixels off. I ran 7 arches running pixel strips. There's about 48 pixels each. Well, these are the 60, 20, I believe that's right. And so there's actually 48 each, but there's 3 times on the number of LEDs. I ran this Muscoyo hat, ran this singing stocking, and ran this this other stocking here that's not a singing face though, with a matrix on top of it, all off of one Alpha Pix 16. Of course, I had to do power injection. Do a close-up of a Megatree base, 1-inch GMT conduit that I bent with a conduit bender. I took 5-inch eye bolts actually and bent them open to attach my pixel strips, and this one here couldn't get it quite low enough. I had some issues with height, so I put a wire tie on that one, but most of them are right through the hook. And on the bottom, I just used regular nuts at first, and they were backing off, so I went and got some of those nuts with a nylon lock washer in them, and those seem to hold really well because the wind was vibrating loose a little bit. I got from Randy Bond, I got some metal strips. I bought my topper from him as well, And so instead of using grommets, I went with these metal strips. You see them, there's just a piece of steel that I riveted in place, drilled holes in the pixel strips. And I use this conduit, I put it inside pipe, just like Roger Monkhouse did on his pixel tree description he has on his website. And pounded on the ground, I have a 3/4 inch diameter, I think it's number 4, I think, rebar, that I ended up drilling holes through, pounding in the ground, just took my sledgehammer, trusty head sledgehammer, pounded her in. My issue here is wasn't completely level, so my eye hooks were a little bit different on each of them in height, but I just used that to do that. Yeah, for my Roger Monkhouse ASAP pole, what I ended up doing is I forget the size of these bolts, but I increased the size from what Roger had recommended. I had one earlier, I had a little binding, it slipped and the bolt bent, so I just went a little bit bigger in diameter so I wouldn't have that issue. Okay, for the top of my mega tree pole, here's Randy Bond's tree topper with a new system that uses these metal attachers. I use the riveted version. Focus may not be so good there, but they worked really well, survived the windstorms quite well. And I put these eye hooks in top for the top support for my wire rope. First time I've seen these since I did it, and it looks like they held nice and strong. No deformation or anything, so that worked out really well.